Ladies and gentlemen,
Seekers of the stage,
denizens of the dramatic,
refugees from reality,
creatures of all heights, hues, and humors.
welcome to What Streams May Come, presented by Chaotic Tiefling Productions.
Tonight I am joined by the magically macabre and majestically mystifying Lady of Shadows, Jessica Skellington.
And I am joined and excited to be alongside, in person, no less, the boisterous Bacchanalian Baron of Banter, Finnegan Archer, the Bloodhaven Bard.
Tonight, we will bring you a Shakespeare play performed by thespians driven out of the stage lights by the perils of the present pandemic, leaving us without a place to perform our craft.
And as we have done in the past, Finn and I have chosen one of Shakespeare's plays and made an open call to performers.
What is unique about these readings is, aside from choosing the show, the casting is completely random. Through the magic of spreadsheet randomizers, every actor has an equal chance of being paired with any role, regardless of age, gender, or other considerations.
And as you will see, this often makes for hilarious interpretations of the characters, or may provide a new spin on what you may have seen done in live theater.
Tonight's performance will be Hamlet. Given the length of the selection, we have decided to separate the show into two parts.
Ooh, that's right. Tonight we'll be bringing you half of the tragedy of the Danish prince, and in just 2 weeks, we will assemble a fresh cast to conclude the epic tale.
To bring you this story, we welcome to the stream a troupe of talented troubadours. Players, as I call out tonight's cast of characters, please introduce yourself to the lovely audience. Tonight, bringing the doomed prince, Prince Hamlet will be played by...
It is I, Alyssa, your fresh Prince of Denmark.
Yeah, you are. Bringing us Horatio, we will be joined by...
Hello, I am Lydia, playing Horatio.
Lovely. Glad to have you back, Lydia. Tonight's
Thank you.
Claudius will be portrayed by...
Heyo, Sarah B. Strange here.
Sarah B. Very strange all the time. We love it. Tonight's Polonius will bear the face of...
Megan.
Yay! Welcome back, Megan! Our Queen Gertrude, the innocent, will be...
It's your Lady Lorai.
Heyo.
Yay, Lorraine. Forget what I said about innocent. All right.
Never.
Next up, bringing us Laertes, we have...
Hey guys, it's Ruth.
Welcome back, Ruth. Always a pleasure. Bringing us the Lady Ophelia, we are joined tonight by...
Hi, it's Laurie. I'll be Ophelia tonight.
Yeah! All right, so then, bringing us one half of Rosenstern and Gildenkrantz. The Rosenkrantz part of that will be...
Hello, I'm John Rabin, and I am one of the best spies in Denmark. Not.
You're at least one half of the best spies in Denmark. Bringing us the other half of the duo, Guildenstern, will be portrayed by...
That would be me, Casey Williams, the adjunct GM, here to do a play.
We love you, Casey.
Amazing. Already bringing the wholesome, we're spies, we promise, and we're also nice energy. Bringing us tonight, Marcellus. What does Marcellus look like?
Marcellus looks like this.
Ooh.
I'm Novelist. A pleasure to meet you.
Fantastic.
Oh, that entrance. Uh-huh.
Very nice. Thank you, Novelist. New to our show. Very excited to have you on board this evening. Playing many roles this evening, including Bernardo, Cornelius, Voltimand, and the player king, we have...
None other than Strike Red Kite.
Heyo! No stranger to the show, but brand new to our screens on What Streams. We are very excited to bring Strike on board and on screen for all of you people tonight. Bringing us the ghost of the disgraced and disposed king, we have...
Hello, I'm dead.
Oh, love you, Trieste.
It's Trieste.
Hi, Mr. Pooh. Saw you dead.
Joining us tonight playing dual roles as Reynaldo and the first player.
Hello, my name is Jay. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm excited to be here.
So excited to have you on our stream, Jay.
Welcome, Jay.
And rounding out our cast this evening, playing dual roles as Francisco and the player queen. Who did we have for that?
I don't know.
It's me!
Oh, wait!
It's me!
Babs the Bat, the not as offstage as we call her offstage oracle.
At least anymore.
No.
Yeah. She's now the onstage oracle.
Our longtime offstage oracle has been on stage for a lot of the time lately.
Well, until you learn to run this whole side of everything.
She'll be on stage for some time. We'll call it an upgrade. Don't call it a comeback. All right. So, lovely.
That's our cast. And as always, the best part of our show is you, our dear audience. Please let us know how you are liking it in the chat and share those comments that you would normally get shushed for in live theater. Our performers may even join in on the dialogue, along with Finn and myself. We do humbly ask that you keep it respectful, but please feel free to make jokes, talk about the characters or plot, compliment our actors, and maybe be a bit bawdy.
Maybe. She says maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, this is Billy Shakes we're talking about, and we'd be doing him a disservice if we shied away from the puns, quips, and all the innuendos. However, we do have moderators watching our chat, so please be kind to one another and the actors on your screen.
With that said, we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Without further ado, let us to places to Act 1, Scene 1 of Hamlet.
Who's there?
Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king.
Bernardo?
He?
You come most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart.
Have you had quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them. Stand ho! Who's there?
Friends to this ground.
And liegemen to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Oh, farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Bernardo has my place. Give you good night.
Hola, Bernardo.
Say what, is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What, has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy. I will not let belief take hold of him touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, tush. 'Twill not appear.
Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears, that are so fortified against our story, what we have 2 nights seen.
Well, sit we down, and let us hear Bernardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven where it now burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one.
Peace! Peace! Break thee off! Look! Here it comes again!
In the same figure like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
Looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like it. Harrows me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Question it, Horatio.
What art thou that unsurpassed this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak.
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Stay, speak. Speak, I charge thee, speak.
'Tis gone, I will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on it?
For my God, I might not disbelieve without the sensible and true avouch of my own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself. Such was the very armor he had on when he, the ambitious Norway, combated. So frowned he once when, in an angry parle, he smote the sleddish Polish on the ice. 'Tis strange.
Thus twice before. And jump at this dead hour with martial stalk hath he gone by our watch.
In what particular thought to work I know not. But in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Good now, sit down and tell me, he that knows, why this same stricter, most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, and why such daily cast of brazen cannon and foreign mart for implements of war, why such impress of shipwrights which sore task does not divide the Sunday from the week. What might be toward that this sweaty haste doth make the night joint labourer with the day? Who is that can inform me?
And that can I. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even but now appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway, thereto pricked on by most emulent pride, dared to the combat in which our valiant Hamlet, for so the sight of our known world esteemed him, did slay this Fortinbras, who by a sealed compact well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit with his life all those his lands which he stood seized of to conquer, against the which a moiety competent was gauged by our king, which had returned to the inheritance of Fortinbras, had he been vanquisher, as by some covenant and carriage of the article designed, his fell to Hamlet. Now, Sir young Fortinbras of unimproved metal, hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there sharked up a list of lawless resolutes for food and diet, to some enterprise that hath a stomach into it, which is no other, as it doth well appear unto our state, but to recover of us, by strong hand and terms compulsatory, those foresaid lands so by his fathers lost. And this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations, the source of this our watch and the chief head of this post-haste and rummage in the land.
I think it be no other but e'en so. Well may it sort that this portentous figure comes armed through our watch, so like the king that was and is the question of these wars.
Oh, a mote it is to trouble the mind's eye. In the most high and palmy state of Rome, a little ere the mightiest Julius fell, the grave stood tenantless, and the sheeted dead did squeak and gibber in the Roman streets as stars with trains of fire and dews of blood, disasters in the sun, and the most moist star upon whose influence Neptune's empire stands was sick almost to doomsday with eclipse. And even the like precurse of feared events, and as harbingers preceded still the fates and prologue to the omen coming on, have heaven and earth together demonstrated unto our climentures and countrymen? But soft, behold, lo, where it comes again. I'll cross it through it, blast me, stay illusion. If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, oh, speak. Or if thou hast unapported in this life, extorted treasure in the womb of earth, for which they say you spirits oft walk in death, speak of it. Stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus.
Shall I strike at it with my partisan?
Do it if it will not stand.
'Tis here.
'Tis here.
'Tis gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical to offer it this show of violence, for it is as invulnerable and of vain blows malicious mockery.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard the cock, that is the trumpet to the morn, doth with his lofty and shrill-sounding throat awake the god of day, and at his warning, whether in sea, of fire, in earth of air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to his confined, and of the truth herein this present object made probation.
It faded on the crowing of the cock. Some say that ere 'gainst that season comes wherever in our Saviour's birth is celebrated. The bird of dawning sings all night long, and that they say no spirit there stir abroad. The nights are wholesome. Then no planet strike, no fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm. So hallowed and so gracious is that time.
So have I heard, and do in part believe it. But look, the morn, in russet mantle clad, walks over the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we up our watch, and by my advice, let us impart with what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet, for upon my life the spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it, as needful in our loves fitting our duty?
Let's do it, I pray. And I this morning know where we shall find him most conveniently.
We will conveniently find Hamlet in Act 1, Scene 2.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and a dropping eye, with mirth in funeral and dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along, for all our thanks. Now follows that you know, young Fortinbras, holding a weak supposal of our worth, or thinking by our late dear brother's death our state to be disjoint and out of frame, colleagued with the dream of his advantage, he hath not failed to pester us with message importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father, with all bonds of law, to our most valiant brother. So much for him. Now, for ourselves, and for this time of meeting, thus much the business is. We have here writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who, impotent and bedrid, scarcely hears of this his nephew's purpose, to suppress his further gait herein, and that the levies, the lists, and full proportions are all made out of his subject. And we here dispatch you, good Cornelius, and you, Voltimand, for bearers of this greeting to old Norway, giving you no further personal power to business with the king, more than the scope of these dilated articles allow. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty.
In that and all things, we will show our duty.
We doubt it nothing. Heartily, farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is it, Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane and lose your voice? What wouldst thou beg, Laertes, that shall not be my offer, not thy asking? The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
Dread Lord, your leave and favor to return to France, from whence, though willingly, I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation. Yet now I must confess that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again towards France, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laborsome petition, and at last, upon his will, I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes. Time be thine, and thy best graces, spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet and my son.
A little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you? After all this.
Not so, my lord. I'm too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou know'st 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam, nay, it is. I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, no, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected behavior of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passeth show, these but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these morning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father. That father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding simple and unschooled. For what we know must be and is as common as any the most vulgar thing to sense. Why should we, in our peevish opposition, take it to heart? Fie! 'Tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers, and who still hath cried from the first course till he that cried died today. This must be so. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son. Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart, in grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the king's rouse the heavens shall bruit again, bespeaking earthly thunder. Come away.
Oh, and that this too sullied flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world, Fie on it! Ah, fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely, that it should come to this, but 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king, that was to this Hyperion to a satyr. So loving to my mother, that he might not beteem the winds of heaven, visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth must remember why she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month, let me not think on it. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month or ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, all tears. Why she, even she, oh God, what a beast that wants discourse of reason, would have mourned longer, married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing of her goblet eyes, she married, oh, most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good, but break my heart. For I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I am glad to see you well. Horatio, or do I forget myself?
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. And what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Marcellus!
My good lord.
I'm very glad to see you. Good even, sir. But what in faith make you from Wittenberg?
A truant disposition, good my lord.
I would not hear your enemies say so, nor shall you do mine ear that violence to make it truster of your own report against yourself. I know you are no truant, but what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray thee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day, Horatio, my father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man. Take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lord, the king, your father.
The king, my father?
Season your admiration for a while with an intent ear, till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights ago, or 2 nights together, had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead waste in middle of the night, been thus encountered a figure like your father, armed at point exactly, cap a pea, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by them. Thrice he walked by their oppressed and feared surprised eyes within this truncheon's length, whilst they, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy impart they did, and I with them the 3rd night kept the watch, where, as they had delivered both in time, form of the thing each word made true and good, the apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
But where was this?
My lord, upon the platform, where we watch.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up its head and did address itself to motion, like it would speak. But even then the morning cock crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk in haste away and vanished from our sights.
This is very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true. And we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it.
Indeed, sirs, but this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight?
We do,
my lord.
Armed, say you?
Armed, my lord.
From top to toe?
My lord, from head to foot.
Then saw you not his face?
Oh yes, my lord. He wore his beaver up.
What looked he frowningly?
Countenance more and sour than in anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
Would I had been there?
It would have amazed you.
Very like. Stayed it long?
While one with moderate haste might tell 100.
Longer.
Not when I saw it.
His beard was grizzled, no?
It was, as I have seen it in his life, a sable silvered.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it. Though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace, I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still, and whatsoever else shall hap tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite you your loves. So fare you well upon the platform. 'Twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you tonight.
Our duty to your honor.
Our duty to your honor.
Your loves as mine to you. Farewell. My father's spirit in arms, all is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
And we will be overwhelmed by Act 1, Scene 3.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And, sister, as the winds give benefit and convey is assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt it?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood. A violet in the youth of primy nature, forward not permanent sweet, not lasting. The perfume and supplements of a minute, no more.
No more but so.
Think it no more. For nature crescent does not grow alone in bulk, but as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grows wide withal. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil nor cattle doth besmirch the virtue of his will. But you must fear his greatness weighed his will, not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state. And therefore must his choice be circumscribed unto the voice unyielding of that body, whereof he is the head. Then, if he says he loves you, it fits your wisdom so far to believe it, as he is his particular act and place, may give his saying deed, which no further than the main voice of Denmark goes withal. Then weigh what loss your honor may sustain, if with too credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered impunity. Fear it, Ophelia. Fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot of danger of desire. The cherished maid is prodigal enough. If she unmask her beauty to the moon, virtue itself escapes not coldest strokes. The canker gauze the infant of spring too oft before their buttons be disclosed, and in the morn and liquid dew of youth, contagious, blasphemous, are most eminent. Be wary then. Best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else hear.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But, good my brother, do not as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst, like a puffed and reckless libertine, himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks his not own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stayed too long, but here my father comes. A double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second leave.
Yet here, Laertes, abroad for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. Bear my blessing with thee, and these few precepts in thy memory. Look thou character, give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou unfamiliar, but by no means vulgar. Be those friends thou hast in their adoption tried, grapple them unto thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it with the opposed may beware thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy, rich, not gaudy. For thy apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are of a most select and generous chief in that. Neither a borrower nor lender be, for oft loan loses both in itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not be false to any man. Farewell. My blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you. Go, your servants tend.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is Ophelia he hath said to you?
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Marry well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath oft very late given a private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. If it be so, as so 'tis put on me, and that way in of caution I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behooves my daughter and your honor. What is it between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? Pooh, you speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby, that you have ta'en these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or, not to crack the wind of the poor phrase, running it thus, you'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honorable fashion.
Aye, fashion you may call it. Go to.
And hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springs to catch woodcocks, I do know. When the blood burns, how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, giving more light than heat, extinct in both, even in their promise, as it is a making, you must not take for fire. From this time be somewhat scanter of your maiden presence. Set your entreatments at a higher rate than a command to parley. For Lord Hamlet believed so much in him that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given to you. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows, for they are brokers, not of that dye which their investments show, but mere implorators of unholy suits, breathing like sanctified and pious bawds, the better to beguile. This is for all. I would not in plain terms from this time forth have you so slander any moment leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you. Come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
All right. Just when I was about to make a side of gravy with those tenders joke, we're done with that. Scene.
Act 1, Scene 4.
Act 1, Scene 4. Go. Do the shoot. Act 1, Scene 4. Go.
The air bites shrewdly. It's very cold.
It is a nipping and an eager air.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed? I heard it not. It then draws near the season wherein the spirit held his wont to walk. What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse, keeps wassail, and the swaggering uprising reels, and as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge.
Is it a custom?
Aye, merriest. But to my mind, though I am native here and to the manor born, it is a custom, more honored in the breach than in the observance. This heavy-handed revel east and west makes us traduced and taxed of other nations. They clape us drunkards, and with Swinish phrase, soil our addition. And indeed it takes from our achievements, though performed at height, the pith and marrow of our attribute. So oft it chances in particular men that for some vicious mole of nature in them, as in their birth, wherein they are not guilty, since nature cannot choose his origin, by the o'ergrowth of some complexion oft breaking down the pales and forts of reason, or by some habit that too much o'erleavens the form of plausitive manners, that these men carrying, I say, the stamp of one defect, being nature's livery or fortune's star, their virtues else, be they as pure as grace, as infinite as man may undergo, shall in the general censure take corruption from that particular fault. The dram of evil doth all the noble substance of a doubt to his own scandal.
Look, my lord, it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or a goblin damned, to bring with thee airs from heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable, thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, king, father, royal Dane. Oh, answer me! Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones, hearsed in death, have burst their cerements, why the sepulchre wherein we saw thee quietly interred hath opened his ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. What may this mean, that thou, dead corse, again in complete steel revisit thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and we, fools of nature, so horridly shake our disposition with thoughts beyond the reach of our souls? Say, why is this? Wherefore? What should we do?
It beckons you to go away with it, as if it's some impartment did desire to you alone.
Look with what courteous action it waves you to more removed ground, but do not go with it.
No, by no means.
It will not speak, then I will follow it.
Do not, my lord.
Why? What should be the fear? I do not set my life in a pin's fee. And for my soul, what can it do to that, being a thing immortal as itself? It waves me forth again, I'll follow it.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord? Or to the dreadful summit off of the cliff the beetles over his base into the sea, and there assumes some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it! The very place puts toys of desperation without more motive into every brain that looks so fathoms to the sea and hears it roar beneath.
It waves me still. Go on, I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lord.
Hold off your hands.
Be ruled, you shall not go.
My fate cries out and makes each petty artery in this body as hardy as the Nemean's lion's nerve. Still I am called, unhand me, gentlemen. By heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. I say, away. Go on, I'll follow thee.
Oh, he waxes desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit thus to obey him.
Have after, to what issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Nay, let's follow him.
And we follow the rotten Danish smell. Rotten Danish, that sounds like something you're going to find outside of a bakery. We follow the smell into Act 1, Scene 5.
Where wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So, art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear?
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night and for the day confined to fast in fires. Till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away, but that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I could a tale unfold for those lightest word would that whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy 2 eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy knotted and combined locks to part, and each particular hair to stand on end like quills upon the fearful porpentine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, O list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love.
Oh, God.
Revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder?
Murder most foul, as in the best it is. But this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to note that I, with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love, may sweep my revenge.
I find thee apt. And the duller shouldst thou be than the fat weed that roots itself in ease on Lethe wharf. Wouldst thou not stir in this? Now, Hamlet, hear. 'Tis given out that, sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle?
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts, oh, wicked wit and gifts, that have the power so to seduce, one, his shameful, to his shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there from me, whose love was of that dignity that it went hand in hand even with the vow I made to her in marriage, and to decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine. But virtue as it never will be moved, though lewdness court it in the shape of heaven, so lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole with juice of cursed Habanon in a vial, and then in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of men, that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor doth posset and curd, like eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood. So did it mine. And a most instant tetter barked about, most Lazar-like, with vile and loathsome crust all my smooth body. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even in the blossoms of my sin, unhoused, disappointed, unanelled, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Horrible. Horrible. Most horrible. If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near, and against the pale his ineffectual fire. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Remember me.
Oh, all you host of heaven, oh, earth, what else? And shall I couple hell? Oh, fie! Hold, my heart and you, my sinews grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee. Aye, thou poor ghost, whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee. Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all pressures past, that youth and observation copied there, and thy commandment alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven, O most pernicious woman, O villain, smiling, damned villain, my tables, meet it is I set it down, that one may smile and be a villain. At least I'm sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word, it is adieu, adieu. Remember me. I have sworn it.
My lord, my lord.
Lord Hamlet.
Heaven secure him.
So be it.
Hello, ho, my lord.
Hello. Boy, come, bird, come.
How is my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
How say you then? Would heart of one man once think it, but you'll be secret?
I, by heaven,
my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an arrant knave.
There needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right you are in the right. And so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire shall point you, for every man has business and desire, such as it is, and for my own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
There's no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick there is, Horatio, and much offense too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost, that let me tell you. For your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
We will not.
But swear it.
In faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my sword.
We have sworn, my lord, already.
Indeed. Upon my sword, indeed.
Swear!
Boy, sayest thou so? Art thou there, true penny? Come on, you hear this fellow in the cellarage. Consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Swear!
Et oblique. Then we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hands upon my sword. Swear by my sword, never to speak of this that you've heard.
Swear by his sword.
Well said, old mole. Canst work i' the earth so fast? A worthy pioneer, once more remove, good friends.
Oh, day and night. This is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here as before, never so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you at such times seeing me never shall with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase as well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or if we list to speak, or there be, and if they might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me, this not to do. So grace and mercy at your most need help you. Swear.
Swear.
Rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you. And what so poor a man as Hamlet is, may to express his love and friending to you, God willing, shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
Swear to me! I'm sorry.
And that's how the hosts were broken.
You're gonna do it! I'm gonna scare you into it.
Do you swear? Every damn day.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. So, tonight's show, since we are doing the show a little differently, we must find a place to show you all the lovely headshots and
faces and
bios of our people. You deserve a playbill when you go to see a show, and so our digital one shall roll for you momentarily. Normally we would take this after Act 2, but with stretching tonight's show over 2 episodes, we will take our intermission slightly early.
Like right now.
Right now, in fact.
Yay! So, do we want to talk about the act first?
I kind of really do.
Okay.
Because, first of all, have we ever set up a more what's the word I'm looking for?
I have no idea.
We've never set up a more insufferable teenager than in Hamlet. Romeo and Juliet did not, irritate the people around them as much as this boy is.
This is true. And their families hated each other.
True,
Yeah.
And then, this whole play, just starts out with just everything's about sex. Freud would love this show. And I think Freud did love this show.
I think he did, actually.
I'm pretty positive that Freud had a lot to say about psychoanalyzing the people in Hamlet, because a sword is never a sword in this show.
I think a lot.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of this play is about Elizabethan views on masculinity.
Right. Yeah.
Because Claudius is the most toxically masculine person ever.
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Yes, in fact, Freud in his book, The Interpretation of Dreams, he actually says that Hamlet is able to do anything except take vengeance on the man who got away with his father and took that father's place with his mother. The man then shows him the repressed wishes, so Hamlet's id is actually stronger than his superego, and apparently Hamlet has an Oedipus complex, so he just took that and ran with it.
There we go. This gets really weird. Okay. It's going to sound...
not already?
It is weird.
Okay.
It's going to get... I'm going to layer the weirdness on. When you realize that, serious note, Will lost his son at a young age, drowning in a river. And his son, Hamnet, I believe, gets his name rewritten and twisted for Hamlet. And this show is basically the tribute show to his late boy. And it's just there are parts of the show where it's which Hamlet are we seeing? We see the insufferable, we can't stand you, always horny, but why? Teenager. And then we get the other moments where everyone's it's someone flipped a switch backstage and everyone starts loving Hamlet for some reason, and the audience is like, everyone was irritated with you a second ago and now everybody loves you. What's up? It's like he wanted to write 2 different shows. I had this one show about a kid everyone hated, but then I also wanted to dedicate it to my son. Didn't have time to write them both. So I just kind of stitched them together.
Actually, Hamlet's death is not known.
Really? I thought...
They did not record them back then in the parishes.
Huh. I thought then it must have been one theory that I read about drowning.
Well, because, Stratford-upon-Avon.
Yeah.
He lost several kids.
Yeah, yeah. Records of death and causes thereof, not very good.
Losing several kids was actually, unfortunately, rather normal back then.
Yeah.
But, going off that tangent just a little bit, Hamlet was a twin. So he had a twin sister named Judith. So can you imagine he died when they were 11 years old.
Losing your twin at 11.
Right?
Man.
Yeah.
And we wonder why this play has so much to do with mental health.
Right?
Well, one thing that I'm glad we're doing the whole show in 2 parts instead of just trying to condense it into one is we actually get to have the Norway side plot, because that's the whole foil of Hamlet is Hamlet's dad killed Fortinbras's dad, and Fortinbras is going on a rage and trying to get back the land and everything. He's the foil for Hamlet, and he only shows up in the very last scene. And so many shows cut that out for time because it's a long goddamn play.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, which is why we did want to split it into 2 so that we'd be able to do all of it justice.
Yeah, we didn't want to lose that.
We wouldn't be here until 1:00 in the morning.
Or 7 a.m. the next day for some of our cast members.
Right?
Who we love for staying and playing with us across the international date line.
Love it.
Can you imagine showing up to get your revenge and everybody you were going to revenge yourself on did the job for you?
It's just like the dude's kid's friend who's there just like, dude, I don't know what to tell you.
Such an empty feeling. Like, I came to Norway for revenge. Came to Denmark for revenge. Sorry, sold out. We had a rush on revenge earlier. There was a big 50% off sale on revenge.
BOGO!
Man, Black Friday in Denmark. You don't want to mess with that.
I mean, he killed him, and he killed him, and he killed him, and he killed him, and he killed that guy, and she killed him, and he killed her, and, everybody's dead except for me. Hi.
I always personally love the times when you can see Shakespeare's lack of knowledge in other areas, like with the poison in the ear move, which would really do nothing.
Right.
I was cringing at that. I was reading it and I'm like, that's not how it works.
Got a really bad earache off of this one.
There's whole papers written on how you really cannot poison someone through the ear. It's a very ineffective poisoning method because, first of all, anyone who gets anything poured in their ear is going to notice immediately.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
What about if they poured lies as a metaphor into his ear and he died of a heart attack about them?
But it really brings me a lot of joy
It's
whenever
not poison, though.
Yeah, but
Not poison.
the pathway to go from the ear down to anything that would make it even worse.
At worst, it damages his hearing. That's about the worst thing that can
I
happen.
mean, if you poured acid into it, that could penetrate.
That could.
Notice.
I could do a little bit more. I don't know.
Well, depending on how strong the acid is.
I still feel like you'd wake up. You'd be like, what the fuck?
That would probably wake you up. Acid in the ear seems like a wake up.
Acid into my ear.
Like if you've ever seen You Only Live Twice, when they try to kill Bond by putting the poison down the string, dripping it into his mouth, and he rolls over and the Bond girl of the movie gets it instead.
Right, it's just,
Toxic. That's toxic masculinity.
Yeah. That's a. Now I just need Claudius to have a cat. No, dear brother, I expect you to die.
Listen, if this was in December, I could have a cat, but
where's your cat? What are you doing with your life? Where is your cat?
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, why am I surrounded by friggin' idiots? Dude.
I know, of all the times we actually need Salem.
We need.
Wait, I have a cat.
We need my.
Oh, that doesn't help Sarah. But no.
My interrupting familiar needs to jump up on the table again.
True. Candy's probably hiding somewhere.
God, I love Salem.
I love Salem so much.
I think Salem has created a bigger online presence than I have at this point.
Speaking of interrupting, Finn, knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
And on that note,
that's one of my favorite jokes ever.
And on that note,
I don't know what I expected.
Break for intermission.
All right.
Oh, Lord.
We'll see everyone back in about 10 minutes. We're going to take a shorter intermission since it's a short show. So, we'll see everyone back 8:20 Eastern Time.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to What Streams May Come. When last we left our Danish party, everyone was freaking out about a ghost.
A ghost!
There was a lot of talk about tenders. And cocks.
Socks? Sauce.
Sauce, cocks, and sauce. And socks, maybe a little bit. Not probably as much.
I said sauce the same time you said
Yeah,
cocks,
there we go.
So I heard socks.
Anyways, so we have all the nasty set up with just the edgiest of edgelords ready to go in the middle. Didn't even mean it that way, but you went ahead and took it there.
Hi, I'm Jess. Have we met?
Very nice to meet you. We're gonna be best buds.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, what are we doing?
I don't know.
All right, welcome to What Streams May Come, and we're gonna hit Act 2 of Hamlet now. So we are ready to see what everybody else is thinking about Mr. Broody Princey Boy, and how do you solve a problem like Hamlet.
And on that note,
on to Act 2,
Scene 1.
Give him this money and these notes, Ronaldo.
I will, my lord.
You shall do marvelous wisely, good Ronaldo, before you visit him to make inquire of his behavior.
My lord, I did intend it.
Marry, well said, very well said. Look you, sir, inquire me what the dancers are in Paris, and who, and how, and what means, and where they keep, what company, at what expense, and finding by this encompassment and drift of question that they do know my son, and come you more nearer, then your particular demands will touch it. Take as 'twere some distant knowledge of him, as thus I know his father and his friends, and impart him. Do you mark this, Ronaldo?
Aye, very well, my lord.
And impart him, but, you may say, not well. But if he be he, I mean, he's very wild, addicted, and so, and there put on him what forgeries you please. Marry none so rank as may dishonor him, take heed of that. But, sir, such wanton, wild, and usual slips are, as our companions, noted and most known to youth and liberty.
As gaming, my lord?
Aye, or drinking, fencing, swearing, quarreling, drabbling. You may go so far.
My lord, that would dishonor him.
Faith, no. As you may season it the charge, you must not put another scandal on him that he is open to inconstancy. That's not my meaning, but breathe his faults so quaintly that they may seem the taints of liberty, the flash and outbreak of a fiery mind, the savageness and unreclaimed blood of general assault.
But, my good lord.
Wherefore should you do this?
Aye, my lord, I would know that.
Marry, sir, here's my drift, and I believe it is a fetch of wit. You, as laying these sullies on my son, as 'twere a little soiled in the working, mark you, your party in converse, him you would sound, having ever seen in the predominant crimes the youth you breathe of guilty, be assured he closes you in this consequence. Good sir, or so, friend, or gentleman, according to the phrase or the addition of man and country.
Very good, my lord.
And then, sir, does he this, he does. What was I about to say? By the mass, I was about to say something. Where did I leave?
At closes in the consequence at friend or so and gentleman.
At closes in the consequence. Aye, Mary, he closes thus. I know the gentleman. I saw him yesterday, or the other day, or then with such or such. And as you say, there he was gaming, there are took in rouse, there falling out at tennis, or perchance I saw him enter such a house of sale. Then dicit a brothel, or so forth. See you now, your bait of falsehood takes this carp of truth, and thus do we of wisdom and of reach, with windlasses and with essays of bias, by indirections find directions out. So by my former lecture and advice shall you, my son. You have me, have you not?
My lord, I have.
God be with you. Fare you well.
Good, my lord.
Observe his inclination in yourself.
I shall, my lord.
And let him ply his music.
Well, my lord.
Farewell. Now, Ophelia, what's the matter?
Oh, my lord, I have been so affrighted.
With what, in the name of God?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, ungartered, and down jibed to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love.
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as if he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last, a little shaking of my arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out the doors he went without their helps, and to the last bended their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property foredoes itself and leads the will to desperate undertakings, as oft as any passion under heaven that does afflict our natures. I am sorry. What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good lord, but as you did command, I did repel his fetters and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not quoted him. I feared he did but trifle and meant to wreck thee. But breshew my jealousy, by heaven, it is as proper to our age to cast beyond ourselves and our opinions, as it is common for the younger sort to lack discretion. Come, go we to the king. This must be known, which, being kept close, might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love. Come.
And on we move to Act 2, Scene 2.
Are we blue?
Hamlet is, apparently.
Da-ba-dee-da-ba-da.
According to Polonius, Ophelia's, hey, Hamlet seems weird. How so? Describes weirdness. Blue balls. And we move on.
Makes every man weird.
That was Polonius' whole diagnosis.
All right.
Act 2, Scene 2.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? So call it, since neither the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was. What it should be, more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him, and since so neighbored to his youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies to draw him on to pleasures and to gather so much from occasion you may gleam, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am, two men there are not living to whom he more adheres, if it will please you, to show us so much gentry and goodwill, as to expend your time with us a while for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
Both we obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz, and I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go, some of you, and bring these gentlemen where Hamlet is.
Evans, make our presence and our practices pleasant and help them to him.
Aye, amen.
The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned.
Thou hast still been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? I assure my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, but to my God and to my gracious king, and I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure as it hath used to, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that. That I do long to hear.
Give first admittance to the ambassadors. My news shall be the fruit to that great feast.
Thyself do grace to them and bring them in. He tells me, my dear Gertrude, he hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death, and our o'er-hasty marriage.
Well, we shall sift him. Welcome, my good friends. Say, Voltimand, what from our brother Norway?
Most fair return of greetings and desires. Upon our first, he sent out to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be a preparation against the Polish. But better looked into, he truly found it was against your highness. Whereat grieved, that so his sickness, age, and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sends out arrests on Fortinbras, which he, in brief, obeys, receives rebuke from Norway, and in fine, makes vow before his uncle never more to give the assay of arms against your majesty. Whereon old Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 3,000 crowns an annual fee and his commission to employ those soldiers so levied as before against the Polish, with an entreaty herein further shown that it might please you to give quiet pass through your dominions for this enterprise on such regards of safety and allowance as therein are set down.
It likes us well. And at our more considered time, we'll read, answer, and think upon this business. Meantime, we thank you for your well-took labor. Go to your rest. At night, we'll feast together. Most welcome home.
This business is well ended. My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night, night, and time is time. Were nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad, call it I, for to define true madness, what is it but to be nothing else but mad? But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true, 'tis pity, and pity 'tis true. A foolish figure, but farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad, let us grant him then, and now remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say the cause of this defect, for this effect defective comes by the cause. Thus it remains, and the remainder thus perpend. I have a daughter, while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience mark, hath given me this. Now gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That's an ill phrase, vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear. Thus, in her excellent white bosom, these...
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Good madam, stay a while. I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars are fire? Doubt that the sun doth move? Doubt truth to be a liar? But never doubt I love. O dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best. Oh, most best believe it. Adieu, thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him, Hamlet. This in obedience hath my daughter shown me, and more above hath his solicitings, as they fell out by time, by means, and place, all given to mine ear.
But how hath she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a man faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so, but what might you think, when I had seen this hot love on the wing, as I perceived it, I must tell you that before my daughter told me, what might you, or my dear majesty, your queen here, think, if I had played the desk or table book, or given my heart a winking, mute and dumb, or looked upon this love with idle sight? What might you think? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star. This must not be. And then I prescripts gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, which done, she took the fruits of my advice, and he, repelled, a short tale to make, fell into sadness, then into a fast, thence to a watch, thence into a weakness, thence to a lightness, and by this declision into the madness wherein now he raves, and we mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be very like.
Hath there been such a time, I would fain know that I have positively said, 'tis so, when proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take this form, this if it be otherwise. If circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the center.
How may we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby.
So he does indeed.
At such time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I hid behind an arras, then mark the encounter. If he love her not, and be not from his reason fall thereon, let me be no assistant for a state, but keep a farm and carters.
We will try it.
But look where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, I do beseech you both away. I'll board him presently. Oh, give me leave. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Alyssa, you're muted, dear.
God have mercy.
We had a mute.
But we waited until Act 2 for that to happen.
We did.
So kudos to y'all.
We made it until Act 2 before we had a mute moment.
Woohoo!
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent will. You're a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
Aye, sir, to be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a good kissing carrion, have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but as your daughter may conceive, friend, look to it.
How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter? Yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He is far gone, and truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love, very near to this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words, words, words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean the matter that you read, my lord.
Slanders, sir, for the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hams, all which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold not honesty to have it thus set down. For yourself, sir, should be old as I am, if like a crab you could go backwards.
Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
Indeed, that is out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. A happiness that often madness hits on, which reason and sanity could not so preposterously be delivered of. I will leave him, and with suddenly contrived by the means of meeting between him and my daughter. My honorable lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part withal, except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare you well, my lord.
These old, tedious fools.
You go to seek Lord Hamlet, there he is.
God save you, sir.
My honored lord.
My most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern? Ah, Rosencrantz, good lads, how do you both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not over happy. On Fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoes?
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favors?
Faith, her privates we.
The secret parts of Fortune? Oh, most true, she is a strumpet. What news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
And doomsday is near, but your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of Fortune, that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, me lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one?
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
Ooh, we think not so, my lord.
Why then, 'tis none to you, for there's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Why then your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
Oh God, I could be bound in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams are indeed our ambition. for the very substance of that ambition is merely the shadow of a dream.
A dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly, and I hold ambition of so airy and light a quality that is but a shadow's shadow.
Then are our beggars' bodies, and our monarchs and outstretched heroes the beggars' shadows. Shall we to the court? For by my fay I cannot reason.
We'll wait upon you.
No such matter. I will sort you out with the rest of my servants, for to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
Well, to visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks, but I thank you. And sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear a halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak.
What shall we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your looks, which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you, by the rights of our fellowship, by the continency of our youth, by the obligations of our ever-preserved love, and by what more dear a better proposer could charge you withal, be even and direct with me whether you were sent for or no.
What say you?
Nay, then I have an eye of you. If you love me, hold not off.
Me lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, foregone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, this earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy the air, look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof, fretted with golden fire. Why, it appears no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet, to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, no, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said a man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We coated them on the way, and hither they are coming to offer you service.
He that plays the king shall be welcome. His majesty shall have tribute of me. The adventurous knight shall use his foil and target. The lover shall not sigh gratis. The humorous man shall end his part in peace. The clown shall make those laugh whose lungs are tickle of the ear. And the lady shall say her mind freely, or the blank verse shall halt for it. What players are they?
Even those who you were wont to take delight in, the tragedians of the city.
How chances it they travel? Their residence, both in reputation and profit, was better both ways.
I think their inhibition comes by the means of the late innovation.
Do they hold the same estimation they did when I was in the city? Are they so followed?
No, indeed they are not.
How comes it? Do they grow rusty?
Nay, their endeavor keeps in the wanton place. But there is, sir, an eyrie of children, little Iases, that cry out on the top of the question and are most tyrannically clapped for it. There are now the fashion, and so berattled the common stages, so they call them, that many wearing rapiers are afraid of goose quills, and dare scarce come thither.
What? Are they children? Who maintains them? How are they escorted? Will they pursue the quality no longer than they can sing? Will they not say afterwards, if they should grow themselves to common players, and it is most like, if their means are no better, their writers do them wrong to make them exclaim against their own succession?
Well, faith, there has been much to do on both sides, and the nation holds it no sin to tar them to controversy. There was, for a while, no money bid for argument unless the poet and the player went to cuffs in the question.
Is it possible?
Oh, there has been much thrown about of brains.
Do the boys carry it away?
Aye, that they do, my lord. Hercules and his load, too.
It is not very strange, for my uncle is king of Denmark, and those that would make mouths at him while my father lived give 20, 40, 50, 100 ducats apiece for his picture and little. His blood. There's something in this more than natural if philosophy could find it out.
There are the players.
Gentlemen, you are welcome in Elsinore. Your hands come then. The appurtenance of welcome is fashion and ceremony. Let me comply with you in this garb, lest my extent to the players, which I tell you must show fairly outwards, should more appear like entertainment than yours. You are welcome, but my uncle, father, and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hog from a handsaw.
Well be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you too, at each ear a hearer. That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouts.
Happily, he's the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
I will prophesy. He comes to tell me of the players. Mark it. You say right, sir. Oh, Monday morning, 'twas so indeed.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Erosius was an actor in Rome...
The actors are come hither, my lord.
Bzz, bzz.
My honor.
Then came each actor on his ass.
The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, pastoral comical, historical pastoral, tragical historical, tragical comical historical pastoral, scene indivisible, or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plautius too light. For the law of writ and liberty, these are the only men.
Oh, Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hadst thou?
What a treasure had he, my lord?
Why, one fair daughter and no more, which he loved passing well.
Still on my daughter.
Am I not in the right, old Jephthah?
If you call me Jephthah, my lord, I have a daughter that I love passing well.
Nay, that follows not.
What follows then, my lord?
Why, as by lot God wot, and then you know it came to pass, as most like it was, the first row of the pious chanson will show you more, for look where my abridgment comes. You are welcome, masters, welcome all. I am glad to see thee well. Welcome, good friends. Old friend, why thy face is valanced since I saw thee last. Comest thou to beard me in Denmark? What, my young lady and mistress? By Our Lady, your ladyship is nearer to heaven than when I saw you last by the altitude of a chopine. Pray God, your voice, like a piece of uncurrent gold, be not cracked within the ring. Masters, you're all welcome. We'll even do it like French falconers, fly at anything we see. We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my good lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted. Or if it was, not above once for the play. I remember pleased not the million. 'Twas caviary to the general, but it was as I received it, and others whose judgments in such matters cried in the top of mine. An excellent play, well digested in the scenes, set down with as much modesty as cunning. I remember one said there were no salads in the lines to make the matter savory, nor no matter in the phrase that might indict the author of affectation, but called it an honest method, as wholesome as sweet, and by very much more handsome than fine. One speech in it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas's tale to Dido, and thereafter thereabout of it, especially when he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin it at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Horatian breast. It is not so. It begins with Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the night resemble when he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now his dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal, head to foot, now is he total guileless, horridly tricked with the blood of his fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and impasted with the parching streets that lend a tyrannous and damned light to their lord's murder, roasted in wrath and fire, and thus o'ersized with coagulate gore, with the eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam speaks. So, proceed you.
For my lord, well spoken, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon he finds him, striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives, and rage strikes wide. But with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. Then, senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus's ear. For, lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So as a painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing. But as we often see against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the rack stood still, the bold winds speechless, and the orb below as hush as death. Anon the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So, after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new at work, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars' armor forge for proof etern with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam. Out, out, thou strumpet fortune, all you gods, in general synod take away her power, break all the spokes and fellies from her wheel, and bowl the round nave down the hill of heaven as low as to the fiends.
Oh, this is too long.
And shall to the barbers with your beard. Prithee, say on. He's for a jig or tale of bawdry, or he sleeps. Say on, come to Hecuba.
But who, ah woe, who had seen the mobilid queen?
The mobilid queen.
That's good. The mobilid queen is good.
Run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with bison broom, a clout upon that head, where late the diadem stood, and for a robe about her flank and all her timid loins, a blanket in the alarm of fear caught up. Who this had seen, with tongue in venom steeped, against fortune's state would treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven and passion in the gods.
Look where he has not turned his color and has tears in his eyes. Really no more.
Is well. I'll have thee speak out the rest soon. Good my lord, will you see these players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you were better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
God's buddikins, man, much better. Use every man after his desert. And who should scrape whipping? Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
We'll have it tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines in which I would set down and insert in it. Could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord, and look you mock him not. My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You're welcome in Elsinore.
Good, my lord.
Aye, so goodbye to you. Now I'm alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave I am. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all his visage waned, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do, had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak like a John of dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and I can say nothing, no, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, plucks my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me a lie in the throat, as deep as to the lungs? Who does me this? Ha! Swoons, I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this I should have fatted all the region kites with slaves awful. Bloody body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance, why, what an ass am I, this most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a stallion. Fie upon it! About my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before my uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tent him to the quick. If he do blanch, I know my course. The spirit I have seen, may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Dun dun dun.
Oh.
I'm being bullied.
So it looks like Hamlet had himself an idea. What do you know? The little princey boy finally got to thinking. And yes, because I do have to say that it was just the sweetest, most heartwarming moment that we're all sitting here.
She knows what's happening.
During the first player's whole speech, we're all sitting here, and I go, damn, but Jay's serving up looks tonight.
Right?
And then we all look over to somebody else's square on the screen and go, and somebody's eating the whole plate.
Y'all are so cute.
We love you guys so much.
It was precious, it was adorable, and we all love you.
Although I'm gonna take so we embarrassed the shit out of Sarah just now, right?
Right, we did.
So I'm gonna call out Jay for a second.
Do it.
Because they're new and so I love you, Jay, but it's gonna fucking happen. So Jay.
All right, have at me.
I'm not gonna scare Jay away. They can handle it. So Jay sends me a message on Discord, and it's kind of like I'm getting kind of like panicky vibes. Like, is there any way that I can be in the scene where Sarah actually talks to me and that? So, yeah. Scene with Sarah, and I'm sitting there at work talking to Jay and like dying on the inside because it's so fucking adorable.
You too.
And so yeah, but I'm glad that we didn't work that out because Jay, you fucking slayed that monologue so hard, and I'm living for it. So thank you for bringing all of the game tonight.
And welcome to the Chaotic TV family officially.
Yep, you've been roasted.
Because I'm not gonna lie. If I may, because Laura knows that I don't dish out like compliments as often as I should, but I was truly. I mean, yeah, but I'm really fucking amazed. That was so good to just see that happen.
Oh, thank you.
I love the meter. It was very, very, very good.
Yes, Jay, we are looking forward to having you back in many more shows after this.
We're always very happy with our cast that comes to us and how the randomizer sorts you into just the and like to the point where there are so many character decisions that never in a million years would I have thought, oh, I think Polonius needs to just be like this, just wisecracking, fast-talking, 1940s, like,
Private investigator?
Private investigator?
He's
yeah,
a
like, what's the
muckraker.
deal?
But I know this should probably wait until next show, because next show is a special show. But
say it
I'm going
now.
to say it now because I don't want to wait. But can we just talk about how we've been doing What Dreams May Come for almost a year now, and everyone, we open called on the internet for just anybody to join in, because we wanted everyone to be able to have a place to come and perform and do all of the things. All of everyone that has shown up has slayed.
It's true.
Everyone brings 150%, and we are thoroughly impressed every show.
And we've not had a bad show.
Nope. Never a disappointment here, guys.
No, and this is episode, what, 15? 14?
14.
So we're at episode 14, and we're running 14 for 14 right now.
I'm liking
we're in Atlanta, so not even professional sports teams can tout that one.
We made it past our first winning season.
We sure did! We have 2 winning
Acting!
seasons!
Yay! All right.
Acting! Thank you!
We don't have much more of our show tonight.
No, we do. We're gonna hit Act 3, and as we go to Act 3, we're not doing the whole deal. We're gonna stop at Scene 2, leave it kind of on a cliffy tonight. That's mathematically about where the halfway point of Hamlet be.
Oh my god, you and math? No.
You know what I'm about.
Math.
Anyways, so we're gonna cut it off at scene 2 tonight. So we're about to do Act 3, scenes 1 and 2. But before we say it again at the end of the show, please make sure that you come back on our streamiversary 2 weeks from today, and come see a fresh cast finish up. So like we'll just see everyone change, like a brand new Hamlet, a brand new King and Queen. Just it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Because all hail the randomizer and
It does work.
all y'all lovely people who have said, hey, yeah, we want to be part of this crazy stream.
And before part 2 in 2 weeks, we will be rerunning part 1 so that the audience can watch part 1, and then we'll jump straight into part 2 with a whole different cast.
Woohoo!
Yep.
And maybe, just maybe, we'll do a whole What Streams May Come marathon that day, where everyone can just relive our favorite shows.
And we might have some extra surprises in there because 1 year.
Yes,
man.
but we will talk about that maybe after the show.
Maybe.
In
In
any case, Hamlet finally has an idea. Is it good? Who knows? All I know is that, like, that was just like, am I alone? Why am I so alone? I'm just a renegade, a rogue, a villain. Everyone hates me. Mom! Oh, I can't even call my mom because my mom's shacking up with my uncle, so... poor Ham.
What's that?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Mom, everyone hates me.
Including you.
I mean, if you weren't so sad all the time, you know.
How dare you be sad about your father's death?
Exactly.
Right? How dare.
Or worse, a girl.
All right, on to Act 3, Scene 1?
Novelist. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Novelist. Yes.
Let us go.
Let us go.
And can you, by no drift of conference, get from him why he puts on this confusion, grading so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof. When we would bring him onto some confession of his true state.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Nary of question, but of our demands most free in his reply.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we o'erwrought on the way. Of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They're about the court, and as I think, they have already ordered this night's play before him.
'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge, and drive his purpose on to these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may hear affront Ophelia. Her father and myself, lawful espials, will so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge, and gather by him, as he is behaved, if to be the affliction of his love or no that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey you. As for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again, to both your honours.
Madam, I wish it may.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you, that we bestow ourselves. Read on this book, that show such an exercise may color your loneliness. We are oft to blame in this, 'Tis too much proof that with devotion's visage and pious action we do sugar o'er the devil himself.
Oh, 'tis true. How smart a lash that speech doth give my conscience. The harlot's cheek, beautied with plastering art, is not more ugly to the thing that helps it than is my deed to my most painted word. Oh, heavy burden.
I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing to end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the burns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietest make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well, well, well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did, and with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich, their perfume lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord. You made me believe so.
You should not have believed me, for virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? Am I myself indifferent honest? But yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, and with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What would such fellows as I do, crawling between earth and heaven? We are errant knaves all. Believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where is thy father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery. Go. Farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery. Go, and quickly too. Farewell.
Heavenly powers restore him.
I have heard of your paintings, too, well enough. God has given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You jig and amble, and you lisp. You nickname God's creatures, and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to, I'll no more on't. It hath made me mad. I say, we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go.
Oh, what a noble mind is here overthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers quite down. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that suck the honey of his music vows, now see that the noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of blown youth blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me to have seen what I've seen, see what I see.
Love. His affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul o'er which his melancholy sits unbrewed, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, which, for to prevent, I have it in quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England for the demand of our neglected tribute. Haply, the seas and countries, different with variable objects, shall expel this something settled matter in his heart, whereon his brain still beating puts him thus from fashion of himself. What think you on it?
Shall do well. But yet I do believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, if so you please, in the ear of all of their conference. If she find him not to England, send him, or can find him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, bringing it home for the evening. Act 3, Scene 2.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of our players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines, nor do not saw the air too much with your hands thus, but use it all gently. For the very torrent, tempest, and, as I may say, whirlwind of passion you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious, periwig-pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the gradlings, who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb-chosen noise. I would have such a fellow whipped for o'erdoing Termagant. It out Herod's Herod. Pray you, avoid it.
I warrant, your honor.
Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end both at the first and now was and is to hold, as 'twere, the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time his form and pressure. Now, this overdone, or come tardy off, though it make the unskilful laugh, cannot but make the judicious grieve, the censure of the which one must in your allowance overweigh a whole theatre of others. Oh, there be players that I have seen play and heard others praise, and that highly, not to speak it profanely, that neither having the accent of Christians, nor the gait of Christians, pagan nor man, have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably.
I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, sir.
Oh, reform it altogether, and let those that play your clown speak no more than is set down for them, for there be of them that will themselves laugh to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh to, though in the meantime some necessary question of the play be then to be considered. That's villainous, and shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. Go, make you ready. How now, my lord? Will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen too, and that presently.
Bid the players make haste. Will you two help to hasten them?
Aye, my lord.
What ho, Horatio?
Here, sweet lord, at your service.
Horatio, thou art in as just a man as e'er my conversation coped withal.
Oh, my dear lord.
Nay, do not think I flatter, for what advancement may I hope from thee that no revenue has but thy good spirits to feed and clothe thee? Why should the poor be flattered? No, let the candied tongue lick absurd pomp and crook the pregnant hinges of the knee, where thrift may follow foaming. Dost thou hear? Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice, and could men distinguish her election, hath sealed thee for herself, for thou hast been as one in suffering that suffers nothing, a man that fortune's buffets and rewards has ta'en with equal thanks, and blessed are those whose blood and judgment are so well commingled that they are not a pipe for fortune's finger to sound what stop she please. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, aye, in my heart of hearts, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There's a play tonight before the king. One scene in it comes near the circumstances which I have told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, even within the very comment of thy soul, observe mine uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen, and my imaginations are as foul as Vulcan's stithy. Give him a heedful note, for mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after we will both our judgment join in censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he steal aught whilst this play is playing, and scape detecting, I will pay the theft.
They are coming to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent, to faith of the chameleon's dish. I eat the air, promise crammed. You cannot feed capons so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine now. My lord, you played once in the university, you say?
That I did, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
It was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord. They stay upon your patience.
I'm sorry. I must have had a little bit too much to drink. Come hither, my dear Hamlet. Sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
Do you mark that?
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean, my head upon your lap?
Aye, my lord.
Do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
That's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Who, I?
Aye, my lord.
Oh, God, you're only jig-maker. What should a man do but be merry? For look you, how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Nay, then, let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heavens, died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet? Then there's hope a great man's memory may outlive his life a half a year. But, by Our Lady, he must build churches then, or else he suffer not thinking on, with the hobby horse, whose epitaph is for the hobby horse is forgot.
What means this, my lord?
Mary, it is mitching malacho. It means mischief.
Belike the show imports the argument of the play.
We shall know by this fellow. The players cannot keep counsel. They'll tell all.
How now, Ophelia? Are you frozen? Oh,
there. Wait, maybe.
Ophelia, are you there?
Yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
You froze on our end.
So sorry.
We lost
I'm
you.
here.
We lost you at will he tell us what the show meant?
Okay.
So let's take it from there.
Will he tell us what this show meant?
Aye, or any show that you will show him. Be not you ashamed to show, he'll not shame to tell you what it means.
You are not. I'll mark the play.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is this a prologue or the posy of a ring?
'Tis brief, my lord.
As woman's love.
Full 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round, Neptune's salt wash and Tellus' orb did ground, and 30 dozen moons with borrowed sheen about the world have times 12 30s been, since love our hearts and Hymen did our hands unite commutal in most sacred hands.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count o'er ere love be done. But woe is me! You are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state, that I distrust you. Yet, though I discomfort you, my lord, it nothing must. For women fear too much, even as they love, and women's fear and love hold quantity, in neither aught or in extremity. Now what my love is, proof hath made you know, and as my love is sized, my fear is so. Where love is great, the littlest doubts are fear. Where little fears grow great, great love grows there.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operant powers their functions leave to do, and thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and so haply one is kind, for husband shalt thou.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second husband let me be accursed. None wed the second, but who killed the first?
Wormwood.
The instances that second marriage move are base respects of thrift, but none of love. A second time I killed my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine oft we break. Purpose is but the slave to memory, of violent birth but poor validity, which now, like fruit unripe, sticks on the tree, but fall unshaken when they mellow be. Most necessary 'tis that we forget to pay ourselves what to ourselves is debt. What to ourselves in passion we propose, the passion ending doth the purpose lose. The violence of either grief or joy, their own enactures with themselves destroy. Where joy most revels, grief doth most lament. Grief joys, joy grieves on slender accident. This world is not for aye, nor 'tis not strange, that even our loves should with our fortunes change. For 'tis a question left us yet to prove, whether love lead fortune, or else fortune love. That great man down, you mark his favorite flies, the poor advanced makes friends of enemies, and hither doth love on fortune tend. For who not needs shall never lack a friend, and who in want a hollow friend doth try, directly seasons him his enemy. But orderly to end where I begun, our wills and fates do so contrary run, that our devices still are overthrown, our thoughts are ours, their ends none of our own. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Nor earth to give me food, nor heaven light. Sport and repose lock from me day and night. To desperation turn my trust and hope, and anchor's cheer in prison be my scope. Each opposite that blanks the face of joy, meet what I would have well and it destroy. Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife, if once a widow, ever I be a wife.
She should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn, sweet, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep, rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how do you like this play?
The lady protests too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in it?
No, they do but jest. Poison and jest. No offense in the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. Mary, how? Tropically. This play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the Duke's name, his wife Baptista. You shall see anon. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that, your majesty, and we that hath free souls it touches us not. Let the galled jade wince, our withers are unwrung. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You're as good as a chorus, my lord.
I could interpret between you and your love if I could see the puppets dallying.
You are keen, my lord, you are keen.
It would cost you a groaning to take off mine edge.
Still better and worse.
So you must take your husbands. Begin murder. Pox, leave thy damnable faces and begin. Come, the croaking raven doth bellow for revenge.
Okay. Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, in time agreeing, Confederate season else no creature seeing. Thou mixture of rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected, thy natural magic and dire property, unwholesome life usurp immediately.
poisons him in the garden for his estate. His name's Gonzago. The story is extant and writ in choice Italian. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises.
What, fright it with false fire?
How fares my lord?
Give o'er the play.
Give me some light. Away!
Lights! Lights! Lights!
Why, let the stricken deer go weep, the heart ungalled play, for some much must watch, while some must sleep, so runs the world away. Would this not, sir, and a forest of feathers, if the rest of my fortunes turn Turk with me, with 2 provincial roses on my raised shoes, get me a fellowship in a cry of players?
Half a share.
A whole one, aye, for dost thou know, O Damon dear, this realm dismantled was of Jove himself, and now reigns here a very, very pageant.
You might have rhymed.
Oh, good Horatio, I'll take the ghost's word for 1,000 pounds. Didst perceive?
Very well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning?
It did very well note him.
Ha! Come, some music. Come, the recorders. For if the king liked not the comedy, why then belike he likes it not pretty. Come, some music.
Good me lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The king, sir.
Aye, what of him?
In his retirement, is marvelous distempered.
With drink, sir?
No, me lord, with choler.
Your wisdom should show itself more richer to signify this to the doctor. For me to put him to his purgation would perhaps plunge him into far more choler.
Good me lord, put your discourse into some frame and start not so wildly from my affair.
I am tame, sir. Pronounce.
The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
You are welcome.
Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon, and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sir, I cannot.
What, me lord?
Make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased. But, sir, such answer as I can make, you shall command, or rather, as you say, my mother. Therefore, no more, but to the matter. My mother, you say.
Then thus she says, your behavior has struck into her amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother. But is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration? In part.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
And do still by these pickers and stealers.
Good my lord, what is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Sir, I lack advancement.
How can that be, when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, sir, but while the grass grows, the proverb is something musty. Oh, the recorders. Let me see one. To withdraw with you. Why do you go about to recover the wind of me as you would drive me into a toil?
Oh, me lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
Me lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, me lord.
It is as easy as lying. Govern these vintages with your fingers and thumb, give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse the most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my misery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And yet there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ. Yet cannot you make it speak? Blood, do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, yet you cannot play upon me. God bless you, sir.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see yonder cloud that's almost in the shape of a camel?
By the mass, and 'tis like a camel indeed.
Methinks it is like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale?
Very like a whale.
Then I will come to my mother by and by. They fool me to the top of my bent. I will come by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. 'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to the world. Now, could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the bitter day would quake to look on? Soft now to my mother. O heart, lose not thy nature. Let not ever the soul of Nero enter this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. How in my words somever she be tent, to give them seals never, my soul consent.
All right, Hamlet's done with the passive. It's time to get aggressive. That whole speech was him.
No, I get it.
He's hyping himself up. Oh, I'm gonna tell Mom off. I'm gonna tell Mom off so bad.
She's gonna be so heartbroken by the time I'm done with her.
She's gonna be like, "What? You can't talk to me like that." And I'm gonna be like, "Yes, I can."
I'm an adult, Mom.
And that's not my real dad, so you can't tell him, ha.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are very thankful that you guys joined us for our part one of our special two-part of Hamlet. Before we bid you join us next week, or next 2 weeks, for the conclusion of the tale of the tragic Danish prince and our streamiversary, our 1 year streaming What Streams May Come, right here on Chaotic Tiefling, we would like you to know where you could connect with any of the fine players that you saw tonight that have other projects going on other places. Some of them would like to know, you to know where to find them. So, Origami, where can people connect with you?
You can find me on Twitter at ShawlTales, and on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/otherdoc, playing a suspiciously perky space wizard in our Scum and Villainy campaign.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Our wonderful usurper, the very sus Sarah B. Strange. You got the randomizer cast you as the murderer.
Right.
The randomizer put you there. The gods of chaos and fate know you, Sarah.
It's a callback to our Among Us days.
Yes. We love you.
I'm gonna fight all of you.
And
you
probably kill us because you're the imposter.
Right?
Oh!
Anyways, you can find me on Twitter, Sarah B. Strange. Despite what
There are words that I'm not going to use right now.
These nincompoops.
Despite what these pine cones would have you think of me, I'm not always sus. But if you want, I float around the internet, so if you want me to float into your game for a little bit, hit me up on Twitter. Best place to find me.
Sarah is also now doing a thing that
yes.
she might not be remembering because she just got roped into it like a couple hours ago.
I am remembering, I just don't have all the details to plug it.
Okay. I'll go ahead and plug it since you're a part of it. So, next Friday, July 30th, Chaotic Tiefling is partnering up with Slady's ATL to participate in the Slady's and Friends charity event that has been going on all month, where they have been streaming with different streamers like Mini Terrain Domain and Gehenna Gaming and all of those wonderful people. And so our dear lovely April Raygun is DMing the final installment of this charity event, and it will be right here on Chaotic Tiefling. You might see a Finn, and you're gonna see a Sarah, and you're gonna see an April, and some Sleeties around as well. So be sure to join us. That is at 8 p.m. on July 30th.
Eastern time?
Eastern time.
Eastern time.
Right here.
All right. P.S. Who you think you're calling a pine cone acorn? Like, what are we doing here? Anyways.
Listen.
No, that's
everything else coming to mind was explicit enough. I wasn't going to say it while my family's on this stream.
You know what? This seems like something a very sus person would say.
Yeah. Oh. That'll shut the magic mouth, huh?
On that note, we're gonna go to
Larai.
Hi, Larai.
I have the pleasure of following that up. Thank you.
Yes, you do.
Larai, where can we find you on the interwebs?
Oh, everywhere, honey. No, just kidding. You can find me on Twitter at LawmasterLarai or at chaoticlawful_Inc., where we stream D&D on Saturdays at 2:30 usually EST-ish, PM EST. Novels will probably also name that, so I will say that I will soon start recruiting for players again for a new campaign, and it will probably be spoopy because I bought Memrichton's Guide to Ravenloft, and you know what happens when DMs buy books. No.
Okay.
We love
It'll probably be a weekday though, so keep an eye out for that request for players.
Well, thank you very much. Next up, we have John Rabin.
Hello, I am John Rabin. I was your Rosencrantz for this evening. Please be sure to tip your waitress. And you can find me at anglotopia.net, where I write all manner of articles about the United Kingdom and the City of London.
Cool.
Very, very nice. Novelist, newcomer to our stream, but very welcome addition. Where can we find
hello. Well, you can find me on Laura's stream. I just found a waitress in my house, which was weird. I guess now I have to tip her.
You're in Europe, so she's
what
paid.
the fuck?
Yeah, she's paid fairly where you are.
Oh, that is true. That is very true. But then again, any tips are welcome. Am I right?
And for those of
Let us take it.
There's no tips.
I can be I can be found on Twitter at NovelistVal. I have also did my first voice acting thing with Never Not DM Ben for Professor Gilroy's Guide to Fae, which you can find on Kickstarter, which is still 21 to 22 days left, which is going to be really fun because it's going to be including 50 different folklorish kind of monsters for your D&D 5th edition campaigns. And I did 30 seconds of voice for that. That was fun. And if you want to hire me for something, I'm available for not a lot. So, because I like doing stuff.
It's usually enough if you laugh at his jokes.
Nice.
I mean, yeah. It's true. That's all the payment.
We'll take payment and girly giggles. Half now and half when we get to Dalderon.
17. We can almost write our own jokes for that.
Almost.
All right.
That's mostly it.
Excellent. Thank you. Returning familiar face to our stream, Casey, the adjunct GM. Where can we find you?
Hey, that's me. You can find me on Twitch at the Adjunct GM and on Twitter at KCT931, though I'm planning on changing it to the Adjunct GM as well very soon. I took a bit of a hiatus from streaming a whole lot this past year, but I'm back, getting back to Friday actual play streams where we try different games for short campaigns and one-shots. Coming up very soon, we're going to be doing a charity one-shot for Jasper's Game Day, of which I am an ambassador streamer for, playing High Hopes in the Kitchen. I don't understand why we can't have the chicken, which is a hack of a honey heist where everyone plays cats trying to steal Christmas dinner. I still need 2 more players. If anyone's interested, feel free to message me on Twitter, and I would love to have you.
Is it also inspired by Panic at the Disco song titles?
Yes. I won't be GMing. I will be maybe reprising my cat from my wife GM'd last time, and I played a French cat named Jean-Baptiste, who was the great-great-grandson of a witch's familiar.
Love it.
I love everything about this.
Everything that
Yes.
happened.
I'm not mad at that.
So if you would like to play as a cat in our honey heist hack, feel free to reach out, and I'd love to have you. Looking at playing the One Ring 2nd edition as soon as it comes out, and hopefully Star Trek Adventures very soon if anyone's interested.
I love Star Trek Adventures.
We should talk, but
it's a good system.
I have never played it, but I'm super excited to try it. But if you have a game you're interested in and would like to learn more about, my streams are always people who've mostly never played the games before, and we learn it together. So feel free to reach out if you're interested.
And now we go to
the Dear Alfred to our Bat Cave. Strike.
Hi, you can find me at strike_redkite at pretty much everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, and the like. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that for several people that are on this particular call, a good bedtime is coming up very shortly, as we have an early call in the morning for Utharian Legends with the Sunday Brunch Club. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, right here on Chaotic Tiefling. We'll be picking up as the group finally makes landfall after many, many days at sea.
so much shenanigans. So much shenanigans.
Shenanigans?
Shenanigans.
There.
The shenanigans.
Are you all seamen?
Most of us.
That's strike 3. I'm done with you.
Hey, who knows some shanties?
Ooh.
The pirate came
Ooh.
and went.
Oh, I know shanties. I love shanties.
The pirate came and the pirate went. Like,
He came very soon.
he did.
Uh-huh.
And surprisingly.
I was very surprised. Okay.
Was it fast?
Moving on.
Speaking of Utharian Legends tomorrow.
Trieste.
Hi.
Hi. Ghost.
Yeah. Swear.
Swear
to me.
There you go. There it is.
Yep.
Just touch my sword, guys. It's fine.
I'm looking forward to
You cannot say that on our stream. We will go right into the gutter.
Even further into the gutter.
Are we going into the gutter? Because we just did.
Huh? Yeah. I know.
So where can we find you?
In the gutter, apparently. You can find me streaming on Blaze of Gloriosa, and also I'm super excited to talk about for a second. We are doing a sequel to a much loved. It was Tiefling toddlers who were holding up a candy store, and it was a one-shot for charity that was so popular that one of the donation goals was for a sequel. So we've finally scheduled the sequel. I think the Tiefling toddlers who escaped from their daycare are going to the zoo this time and trying to knock over a souvenir store. It was awesome. So it's going to be on the _GR_crew. So it's the GR crew. with underscores in between the names. And it's going to be on the 31st at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I don't know what that is in all of the other made-up time zones.
That's
That's
1 o'clock Eastern time.
There we go.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So super excited. We're gonna get the gang together. It was just the most adorably wonderful one shot that I've played in a long time. So looking forward to the sequel. Come check it out. I'm stoked. I'm so stoked. So that's where I will be. In addition to here every other Sunday morning by my contract that I signed.
Also, we have to ask, did you dye and cut your hair?
I did.
Yeah, you look
So good.
Thank you. Yeah, I chopped it all off. I chopped off about a foot of hair.
Amazing.
Looks
real
nice.
long.
Looks very, very good.
Yes, it does.
Every week I want your Gloriosa wig to be your real hair, and then it's not.
But now
and
it is.
Now it's very, very,
Very
close.
close.
And I love it.
It's pretty close.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, and last but certainly not least, another newcomer to our stream tonight, Jay.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on. My name is Nala or Jay. I use either. I use they, them pronouns. And I want to thank my girlfriend for dragging me on here tonight.
I want to thank her too.
This is the first time I've ever performed Shakespeare ever, besides reading stuff in English class. So I had a very fun time.
It was amazing.
I wrote stuff down so that I wouldn't forget stuff and also so I don't ramble. I am a professional illustrator in the indie tabletop games industry. You can find my portfolio at naladraws.com. That's Nala like the Lion King, and then draws like drawing. And I have worked on my newest project that's coming out. I was an illustrator for Unbreakable RPG, which is an all-Asian team of creators creating own voice stories. That's coming out some point. I think at the end of the summer, we're shooting for our first book in our second volume series. You can follow, I think it's Unbreakable_pub, I think is the Twitter for that. You can find me on Twitter at NalaWoo, or NalaDraws is my art-only account. You can also find me on any other social media that I might have as NalaDraws. Besides art, I do writing, I do voice acting, sensitivity reading, cultural consulting for games or art stuff, and I love advocating for diversity in the media. What else do I do? Every other Sunday, I play in a mask stream. That's on Fractured Moon D&D. That's the Twitch, I think. God, there's so much stuff. But you can find all my information in my pinned tweet on my Twitter at NalaWoo. I think that's it. Thank you so much.
I think that's it. I mean, I feel like that's a lot, so...
That's so much.
No one's going to accuse you of doing too little, Jay. No. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy you all joined us to be here for Hamlet, Part 1. If you had fun with us tonight, please tell others about the show, what streams may come here on Chaotic Tiefling ATL. Our schedule is to bring you a show every month, but this time, you get us in 2 weeks.
Which is still once a month.
It's still once a month.
It's technically once a month, but it's not a month away, so I felt like I had to say it. In any case, we will be rounding out our 2021 season in November this year. So a few shows left. If you want to join in and play, please join in and play. But yes, our next show will be on August 7th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for the thrilling conclusion of Hamlet, which will bring you with a whole new cast, fresh players.
Fresh meat.
So please check your inboxes if you are among our available roster.
However, if you find yourself in a Shakespeare fix need between now and then, all of our previous episodes are uploaded on YouTube under Chaotic Tiefling ATL. And if you missed the announcement earlier, Babs did say that we are possibly thinking maybe,
most likely,
going to have a marathon of all of our shows leading up to our second part of Hamlet. If you want to catch more of Finn and me, we can be found right here tomorrow morning and every other Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, playing with the Sunday Brunch Club with our characters on Uthorian Legends, DM'd by the wonderful Strike Ray Kite.
So I will have to say, we will probably not get to do all of the shows during the marathon, because there are now 14 episodes, and they're all at least 4 hours long, and there's just not that much time in the day. So
we will run a selection of our faves.
Yes. And also, Finn, I think you have something else you're doing this week?
Oh, that's right. Remember that charity game about Stop AAPI Hate?
That we just said that Sarah was in?
Yes. There will also be a Finn!
Yay! Yay, you're also doing something else this week, on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm hosting the Fireside Chat.
You
the
are?
Fireside Chat for the surprise party D&D.
Woohoo! That Laraya's in.
We're wrapping up season We're wrapping up season 2 of the Fireside Chat. So
And me.
join in on the Chaotic Tiefling Discord if you have any silly questions that you want me to ask the players on stream. I will ask only the silliest and the bestest and possibly the most embarrassing questions.
Possibly.
Most likely.
Ask about my chest compartment.
Can't wait.
I mean, you don't have to remind me.
Relis's face.
You don't have to tell me twice.
But as a reminder...
You're Warforged! Sorry, I just was like,
Warforged.
I'm good.
But like we mentioned, join us on July 30th, which is this coming Friday, for the charity stream with Slady's ATL for Stop AAPI Hate, where you will see Finn, Sarah, April, and also we may or may not have a super awesome special surprise announcement that night.
If you're not noticing a trend every time Bab says may or may not, just it's May.
Yeah. We have a super special announcement that night about what Chaotic Tiefling is been up to and getting up to and things that are happening. So if you want to hear all about it, tune into the stream.
Shenanigans.
Because we've been holding this information in for a hot minute now, and we can't wait to tell people.
And as it is a Sladies and Friends show, I'm officially a friend of the Sladies.
Yay!
No happier accolade.
Yep.
Yes.
What happened? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Please toss a sub to your Twitchers and show some love to our dear friend Babs the Bat for hosting us on her channel. Without her hard work, we wouldn't be able to share this with all of you. If you'd like to connect with us, you can follow us at Bloodhaven Bard and at Jessica Skell on Twitter.
Until the next show, be good to yourself and be good to each other. We'll all get through this and under the stage lights once more.
Give us your hands if we be friends.
We love you.
We'll miss you.
Until it's showtime again.